Hey Duo team, I have a balance video for you today. Now you can pick and choose any of the exercises that I'm doing and just do them at home, or you can go ahead and continue with me and do the whole video if you'd like. I don't mind. It is safe for first and second trimester of pregnancy. I am currently in my third trimester and I feel safe doing these movements. But please, for those who are in their third trimester, just if you are going to attempt some of these movements, then have a balance point, so like a wall or a couch or a chair, something in front. So if you do feel unstable, we don't want you to risk falling forward. So yeah, just take that into consideration. But for anyone else, let's get into it. We're going to start with some standing rotations and side bends. So just a little warm up, keeping feet grounded, slight bend through the knees. You can take your hands into the prayer position, or you can take hands behind your head, whatever feels comfortable. We are going to rotate as far as we can to one side, coming back through the center, and then rotating to the opposite side. So we want to keep our hips straight, we want to keep weight through the heels, and we're just rotating from side to side, just getting a little bit of movement through the upper torso. So you can try the hands behind the head, just try and keep those elbows open. So just moving through a few different planes of movement. So we will do some double leg balance work and also single leg balance work today. Just do one more each way. Then we're going to move into some side bends. So we're going to stretch the opposite side of the body to the side that we're bending. Keep the weight equal through the legs. So you want to do about 3 each way. So it is just a warm up, but it also does challenge our balance by moving through the different planes. So a good starting point. From here, we're going to take a narrow squat. We're going to have our hands out in front, and then we're going to open up one arm and take it towards the back and rotate as far as we can. You can take the arm all the way down and then bring it back. So we're just changing our base by making the feet narrow rather than hip width apart. So maybe do 5 one way and then 5 the opposite way. Standing up tall, we're going to move into a one-legged stand. So I'll take you through kind of the progression. So I'm going to start with my right leg bent, hands on the hips, slight bend in the supporting leg, so that's my left leg. I don't want the knee locked out, so a slight bend that helps engage the glutes. Belly button drawn in to get those abs engaged. I'm going to slowly bring the right knee up just as high as we feel comfortable. This is our one-legged stand. Now we are going to move through a progression and challenge it. So the next point is to take our hands into the prayer position and see if we can hold there. If we want to take it a little bit further, I'm going to rotate towards that bent knee and then back to the center. Your other option here is to have your hands behind your head. So still rotating towards that bent leg and then back to the center. The next progression is to add a rotation to the opposite way, so away from the bent leg. Now you can put your foot down at any time, and you can do these movements separately, so you can rotate to the right, relax, and then try rotating to the left, or you can do it with the leg held the whole time. Okay, I'm just going to relax there. So that's your little progression with the one-legged stand. You can also do it with eyes closed, but if you are doing eyes closed, I recommend no rotations, just doing your one-legged stand, maybe with hands on the hips. We can also throw some obliques in there as well if you want to make it into a bit of an ab strengthening exercise as well as balance work. So back into our one-legged stand. I'm going to take my hands behind my head. This is the hardest position. And then I'm going to crunch to the side, so towards that right leg that's bent up. I'm only going to do a few, because we've got a few movements to move through today. So I'm just going to do 3. And lowering that leg. So it's up to you how high you want to bring your leg. It can just be raised just off the floor. You can leave your toes down if you're a beginner with the balance work. Okay, I'm going to change sides. So left leg, I'm going to bring into the one-legged stand. So my right leg is my supporting leg. I've got a slight bend so I can feel my glutes kick in. Belly button pulled gently off my t-shirt just to help engage those abs. I go into my one-legged stand. Now, option to have the hands in the prayer position, or the more advanced version is the arms behind your head. Once you've got your balance, then you're going to rotate towards that knee that's bent. And then back to the start position. I'm just going to do 3. You can do as many or as little as you want to do at home. Now you can rotate the opposite way as well. As I said earlier, you can have a break in between repetitions. You don't have to do them all at once. And then we can do some obliques. So adding our little crunch. So that's the most advanced position. And I'm feeling a great burn in my glute and down through the calf of my supporting leg. So I'm going to take a little break, give it a little shake out. Now the next position I want to show you is very similar, but instead of having the leg out the front, we're going to have the leg to the side. So it's going to start in kind of a leg extended position. I have my hands behind my head. So if you are in your later stages of pregnancy, you might not want to do this one. It might really throw your balance off. You can give it a go holding on to a wall, chair, couch, something for balance. So hands behind my head. This time I'm going to raise my knee bent and I'm going to crunch. Return the leg to that lateral kick position. Stand up nice and tall. So as many or as few as you would like to do. You can just hold if you would like. I'm going to change to the other side. So working the oblique abs here. And relaxing. Give those legs a little shake out. We'll move into a lunge position. So let's have our right leg forward, left leg back, and you want to make 2 right angles or 90 degree with your front leg, 90 degrees with your back leg. From here, all we're going to do is hold our lunge. I'm going to take our torso forward as far as you feel comfortable, and then upright. I'm just going to do about 6. So depending on your comfort level, you might be able to go get your torso flat towards your thigh. There's no way I can do it with my belly at the moment. And if this position isn't hard enough for you, you can do it with a raised heel at the front. I'm just going to do 2 more. This balance work will have your thighs and your glutes and even your calves burning. Well, it certainly does for me. Swapping legs. So 2 options, just your lunge, taking your torso towards your front leg and upright. Option 1, option 2 is to keep the heel raised the whole time while you do it. Try and stay low in your lunge. I'm just going to do about 6 to keep my sides even. I'm going to stand up and give it a little shake. Taking it back to the first leg, so the right leg, I'm going to do a lunge and kick. So starting in bent legs, I'm going to move my body weight forward and kick the back leg off. So I'm just moving very slowly, but you could do it a little bit faster. I'm just concerned about not falling forward. I'm going to do about 6 on each side, but do as many as you'd like at home. Going to do 1 more. And swapping sides. So lunging, shifting the body weight forward, kicking that back leg off. So always do the same amount of reps on each side to keep things even, or do more on your weaker side rather than your stronger side. I think that's about 6. Give it a little shake out. Whew. Only a couple more left. I'm going to do some balance work that also gets our abs and our obliques engaged. So we're going to take it down to a knee hover position. So wrists directly underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. I'm going to tuck the toes so that they're on the mat. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, keep the neck nice and long, and belly button towards the spine, just gently. I'm going to lift the knees off the ground and hold. Now that's option 1. Option 2 is to take your opposite hand to opposite leg. And you can do as many as you'd like or as few as you would like. But you want to try and keep your midsection still. You don't want to be wiggling around. 1 more each way for me. And relax. Whew. So we are doing core work there. And a bit of cross patterning with taking opposite arm to leg, and balance as well with having knees lifted off the ground. Lastly, we'll do some side planks. So I'm going to show you the pregnancy version or the beginner's version. So I'm going to be on my elbow. I've got my right elbow underneath my right shoulder. I've got my hips stacked, knees stacked, feet stacked. I'm going to start pushing my hips towards my feet so that I'm creating a bit of space between my side and the mat. Then I'm going to lift my hips off the ground, try and lift them straight up towards the ceiling. So I'm going to take my left arm up and I'm going to hold this position for about 30 seconds, but it's up to you. You can hold for 5, 10, 15, 30 seconds or a minute. Now the harder version is to extend one or both leg out, but due to my pregnancy, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be holding this position. Normal breathing. We don't want any breath holding here. I'm going to do about 10 more seconds. So it's balance work as we're on our elbow. And we're changing our center of gravity. And relax. Let's swap sides. So if you're quite advanced with your mat work, you want to start with your legs extended, and you can even do it up on your hand rather than your elbow if you want a bit more of a challenge. But as I said, I can only demonstrate this position. So I'm on my elbow, knees stacked, hips stacked, feet stacked. I'm going to push that top hip away, take my hand up towards the ceiling, and then lift my hips off the ground and hold for about 30 seconds. Breathing normally, no breath holding. Don't have a timer, I'm going to do another 10 seconds. Three, two, one, and relax. Ooh. So that's just a few balance movements you can do at home for something different. Really good for glute and leg strengthening. So if you are feeling a bit sore or tight after doing those movements, make sure you take a stretch. You can do your pigeon stretch or your figure 4 for your glutes. You can do a hip flexor stretch up on the knee or on a chair if that's more comfortable for you. Anywhere you feel tight, just make sure you loosen it off after exercising. I've got another video to film, so I'm not going to go through any stretches now, but thanks for joining me today.